solve for y. So the whole point of solving for y is so that we get our equation into slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. When we get it into this format, it's going to make graphing equations on the coordinate plane much easier. So we're going to practice rearranging equations that we could see in order to get our y by itself. Remember, in order for it to be correct slope-intercept form, it has to be a 1y, so you can't have a coefficient other than 1, and it needs to be a positive, so you can't have a negative y. So for example 1, the first thing I'm going to do is my distributive property. So I get y plus 2 is equal to 3x plus 15. Now if I need to get y by itself, I need to subtract 2 from both sides. So I'm going to be left with y, and on this side 3x plus 13. So y is equal to 3x plus 13 would be our solution for this example. If we look at example 2, we have a fraction here. You can do one of two things. You can distribute this fraction first, or you can change it from a fraction by multiplying everything on the left side by 3 and then canceling out this 3, but then know that you'll have to divide everything by 3 in the end as well. So I'm just going to do the distributive property. So when I do my distributive property, I get y minus 2 is going to equal negative 8/3 x, and then minus 24, because 3 goes into 9 3 times, and then 3 times 8 is going to give me 24, and now I just need to add my 2 to both pieces. So when I add 2 to both sides, I get y is equal to negative 8/3 x minus 22. If we look at example 3, in this case I almost have the y by itself, but it has a coefficient other than positive 1, so I just need to divide everything by a negative 7. Usually we don't write our negatives in the denominator, so you're just going to change the signs for all pieces in your numerator. So this is now going to be a negative 10x minus 17 all over positive 7 is equal to y. So this is going to be your answer. You have y by itself. It doesn't matter what the rest of it looks like. The other thing you can do is write it as two separate fractions. So you can have y equals negative 10/7 x and then minus 17/7. You could even rewrite this as a mixed number, but keep your slope as an improper fraction for now, because it's going to help you understand the up, down, left, right movement on your coordinate plane. And for example 4, I have 3x plus 2y is equal to 14. If I want to isolate my y term, I need to get rid of the 3x. So I'm left with 2y on the left side. On the right side, I have a negative 3x and a positive 14. We can't combine these because one has variable and the other one doesn't. And the last thing you'd have to do is divide everything by 2. When I divide everything by 2, I'm left with y on the left, negative 3/2 x, and then 14 divided by 2 is going to give me a positive 7.